If a franchise is successful, it deserves a trilogy. That's what the developers of Freddi Fish must have thought. But that comes at a price, because the third one is usually the worst. And let me start off by saying that the third episode in the Freddi Fish series has succumbed to the same fate. It's not bad, it's not good either. Where the first two had extreme charm, the third installment in the series started off for me with a lot of questions. What is even happening here? The plot of it all is rapidly explained in the first 12 seconds of the game in a conversation between Freddi and Luther. I actually missed it the first time, so I had to restart. It went that fast. It also right off the bat starts off with puzzles and no story build-up. It's very different in contrast to the first two games. The story goes that Luther, his uncle, has been imprisoned, allegedly for stealing a musical conch, which is a shell, and so the upcoming festival can't go through. And Freddi and Luther were on their way to this festival. And it's very clear that the game revolves around Freddi and Luther getting uncle out of jail and nabbing the real perp by solving puzzles and finding the conch. The biggest gripe I have with this game isn't even the story, it's the build-up. It's script and flat character introductions that taunt the game throughout. When it comes to characters, there are plenty. Luther's uncle tells you that there are 6 characters that are possible suspects, and you encounter these 6 throughout the game. However, their introductions are so bland and don't even match up with the detective story. They don't act shady, Freddi and Luther don't even file questions about the missing conch shell, they don't check alibis.
So what do you got beat up to? We have to find a stolen conch shell and get my Uncle Blenny out of jail.
The gameplay ingredients remain the same as ever. Find items across the screens and use them in the proper situations on characters or items to obtain other items that get you closer to finding the conch and its add-ons. There's a musical theater, which has artists perform. Like in the previous games, there are also some mini-games, which ranges from a musical organ on which you can make and record your own musical input. It's pretty diverse. It can also record your musical input and you can listen to it afterwards. Another minigame is a puzzle bubble clone, in which you have to line up the matching sea creatures to clear the game. However, the whole thing is badly explained. You see, this shark that is a tent and game owner tells you that you can have this funny mirror if you hand over 4 sea urchins. So I went all over the place, found those sea urchins and handed them over. Nothing happened. It is only when you enter the tent and finish 1 round of clone puzzle bubble you get the mirror. The shark tells none of this. At first I bailed out of the tent because I wasn't keen on playing the game. I mean, come on. If I want to play Puzzle Bobble, I start up the original Puzzle Bobble, which has a better value than this second grade knockoff. Now I know that the game has multiple threaded ways of puzzle solving each time you start up a new game. Some characters had no functionality in my first playthrough, like this monkey, but also the tailor. Now it seems that I don't really like this game, and that is somewhat true, but there are some good things. The graphics are a fast improvement over the last games. Characters have more frames, environments have more vibrancy to them, and there's a lot of graphical detail. I also like the fact that the game makes use of diverse camera angles to show off the environment. It is a welcome twist in it all. It still doesn't excuse the poor writing and plot twists. I mean, look at this. Freddi and Luther enter a temple. Coming from the ceiling is the conch, and a bag which the perp is shown to them. Luther is distracted by the jewel in front of him, and in an Indiana Jones move, he grabs it, falls backwards, and is then locked in a cage. Also, the ceiling closes up with bars, so the dog that went after the conch is stuck as well? Who knows? Find some stones, get the key, and free Luther. The ceiling bars slide back, and then the bag falls down. What? For what reason? You then confront all the suspects in a lineup when they are all so mad. They want to beat up Luther's uncle. In the bag, Freddi found a claw-shaped boxing glove. Come on, yo. So in this playthrough, the crab was the bad guy. He hands over the conch. Luther inserts the 3 add-ons and uncle plays the conch. And then it's cringy aftermath where the cheesy crime dialogue occurs.
Claw was convicted of violating Penal Code 119 for having a really bad attitude. As punishment, he was sentenced to take remedial classes in ballet for bullies, and has to wear a tutu and little pink dance slippers to school for a whole year. Case closed.
Yeah, this is bad. So in conclusion, Freddi Fish 3 sucks. It's that simple. A third part in a trilogy always sucks. Look at Blade 3, Fast and the Furious 3, Terminator 3, Spider-Man 3, Batman Forever, Robocop 3. And they didn't even have to wrap up a story here. This game feels like a lazy attempt to get it over with. Maybe there were some conflicts on the work floor. The dev team lacked inspiration. or the writer just didn't care. In all honesty, you can skip this third installment and go straight on to the next. No memorable characters at all. Hell, they don't even sing. When did that get scrapped out? No real bonding dialogue between Freddi and Luther as well. Yeah, this game just doesn't hold up in 2020. And I hope that the fourth installment gets my excitement as well as the franchise back on track. You have watched the 13th episode of In Retrospective, and I hope you enjoyed. Of course, there are 12 episodes that went before this one. Did you see those? If not, have a look at those. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this one, and hit that notification bell as well. And I'll welcome you to the next episode soon of In Retrospective.